The finals just got some major news around the community as well as the game. There's some new discoveries that need to unfold, like some brand new maps, as well as some other discoveries like the potential of different game modes. I also want to go over some feedback as well as some corrections from my last videos, and a whole bunch more. What's up, world? Should back in with everybody checking out all things the final. Okay, so let's just jump right into it and some of the new discoveries that have been happening lately, especially these last 2 days. Now, if you haven't seen from one of my last videos, I did include a document for the Easter egg hunt as well as some of the Easter eggs that are going around. Now, this seems to have been more put onto the actual Discord itself as well as several channels. The document still has a ton of good stuff in there to figure out how to actually Easter egg hunt, or at least all the information kind of categorized together. However, on the Discord now there is several threads for the actual Easter egg hunt as well as an Easter egg channel, which if you are interested in any of that, I would definitely recommend on heading there into that channel specifically. Now, we had some really cool things discovered on there as well as even through the Xbox platform. Now, if you didn't know, Xbox has something called an LFG system, or a looking for group system. This essentially allows you to find other players through kind of posting what you want to do, essentially for different activities, or it might be for different things within the actual game, or meetups, or even different people you'd like to meet. Now, why does this specifically pertain to the finals, and why does this matter? Well, essentially, under the player modes tags, there's actually an online multiplayer section that highlights a direct player count. Now, normally this isn't a huge ordeal, as you obviously know how many players are in a game. And for the finals, technically we know that in tournaments there are 48 players. Granted, there's not 48 players in one match, however, you do get linked up with 48 other players to then play in tournaments and separate it out in 3v3v3. However, the significance here is that the tag is able to be used on the Xbox LFG, meaning that you aren't looking for 3 other players, you're looking for 48 other players, and in this case, 9 to 48, which a normal quick match, of course, is 3v3v3, so that would be 9. However, 48 players means that there potentially might be private lobbies for tournaments. And just kind of like Apex, Fortnite, and a few other games, I do believe that there are private lobbies that can be set up through either creator codes with Fortnite, or on Call of Duty, I think it's more segmented to actual partners. So it could be the case that the commoner and everybody else can use this actual sort of playlist and actually hop into a private tournament themselves. However, for the private lobby, it might essentially be boiled down to if you are in a creator program, or if it's just through Embark itself and only to be used through them. However, it is weird that this tag is able to be used on the Xbox platform. Again, this could boil down to that's how many players are in the actual game for tournaments, and you can't actually have a private lobby and segment everybody into that section. Now, there has been a few posts on the Reddit page about this, if there is going to be private lobbies or private matches. Now, there is somebody here that says that a dev may have potentially confirmed private matches. However, they don't remember who said it or where they saw it from. Now, I've tried to scour the Discord for this, and there's so many devs to look through, so I mostly just look through keywords and see if a dev has mentioned that. I can't find any mention of private lobbies or private matches or anything pertaining to this specifically. However, this might be something that I missed, so if you guys see it in the Discord, please let me know and I'll put an updated comment down below. However, so far, I haven't been able to find any confirmation on actual private lobbies, or if there will be potentially that in the actual game. However, combining these two things together, it might be more than likely that we will receive these private lobbies and actually able to do private tournaments, as well as even do the private quick plays, or at least the 2 quick play modes that were offered with the recent open beta. However, other than the private lobbies, we did actually get some concrete evidence for some other new things. And this is actually a big, brand new revelation within the Easter egg hunting community. Now, someone here by the name of Flex4D was able to pin together and put together hidden images in the actual trailer. Now, he even goes over here to highlight the specific frames that these images were taken from. You can see the collection of images here, but then piecing all the images together, we do actually have an image of what looks like a brand new map. And yeah, from this image, as far as I can tell, this hasn't been an imagery from any of the locations that I played on. Especially this kind of like open setting that looks like to be almost like a mall or reminiscent of a store center. I know a lot of people have been questioning, are we actually going to get new maps for the release? And seemingly because we did get new maps from closed beta to open beta, we more than likely will be getting some brand new maps for the actual release, which is quite huge to hear. I know a few games have done this in the past, one of those being Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which had a beta and several betas betas, and even though it had several betas, they still released the game with brand new maps. So I'm really glad to hear that they're actually adding way more diversity to this game than we already had from the open beta. Now again, we have another commenter here confirming something. I've gone through this developer's entire kind of page thing on the Discord. I've also gone through as many comments as I can possible. There's a ton, and this person is heading the Easter egg stuff, so he does have a lot of comments on Discord. However, this other person here is confirming that dev said that there would be multiple maps teased in fragments of these Easter eggs. So this might just be the start of some brand new maps that we discover through imagery and as well as combining other Easter eggs. So far, we only have these two images from it. However, if there is confirmation from this dev specifically, then yeah, we're probably going to see several new maps when the actual game does launch, which is definitely good to hear because I already thought with the open beta and the closed beta, the maps were pretty dynamic and diverse. And just going back to the images again, this looks quite different than any other map we played, especially this kind of nice, cool inside area that looks a lot beefier than the smaller houses. Again, as always, I'll leave a link to everything down below, including the Discord page where you can find all these Easter egg things and Easter egg threads. Now, I do want to establish a correction that I made with my last few videos, or just kind of from feedback that I've received in comments. I noticed a lot of comments and a lot of pushback on my crossplay thoughts, and I know a lot of people didn't want crossplay on by default. However, my argument there is that if it's on by default, you can turn it off, and you already could do this in both the open and closed beta. My only issue was when you first launched the game, it was already off by default. And so I feel that the people that don't want crossplay on, they can just go into their settings and turn the crossplay off. I think it's a much better alternative than just having it off in general. And a really good example of this to me is from Fortnite. Essentially, sometimes Fortnite has a bug or an issue where the in-game chat gets disabled by default, meaning when you first load into a game, you're not instantly put into the game chat as long as you're not in a party. And so you would have to manually join game chat for every game that you loaded into. The problem with this is that nobody was joining game chat or even loading into game chat. You would catch the occasional people that were in party chat checking and looking if people were talking in-game. However, majority of time, there would just be no microphones and nobody talking and no one joining the actual game chat. However, now when you play and game chat is automatic, there is people talking and there are people using the game chat, and most people are in game chat unless they're in an actual party. So my argument there is that people that don't care to have game chat on or off, or don't care about the crossplay being on or off, typically won't go into their settings to change that type of stuff. So I do think it's a better solution. Just like game chat being on by default, crossplay should just be on by default. Again, at least you have the option to actually turn this off. Now, there's been an interesting poll here that I might actually run on my channel because I am curious. Someone asked here, should you get coins for actually turning in the initial cash out box? Basically similar to when you actually open a vault, when you get that like 1,000 coin added when you open one. It's been pretty back and forth here. Originally, when I first went to this page, it was 31 to 29, and now it's 45 to 51. I'm kind of torn on this, but I do think it might add a little bit more dynamic if there is an initial cash out or initial cash in, and you actually receiving some coin for doing that. However, someone did point out here that you do actually get 2k for putting the box in, and this might have only applied to ranked. I mostly played ranked, so I don't know if I essentially remember it being in the regular modes as well. But overall, that should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and to the next one. Deuces.